Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily PIB analysis video. In the morning, the Hindu paper analysis videos they come. In the evening, the PIB videos they come. And do not miss any of the lesson. Very important MCQs, exam-oriented questions, data, facts we are discussing here. So these are very crucial lessons. Daily, I'm telling you about them. And these are the pen drive courses by StudyIQ. And you can contact on these numbers and you can visit the website also. The live chat section is also there. So you can know about all the information. And these are updated courses created by experts, and the sale is also going on, so that's very important. Now, Ministry of Earth Science data, the cyclone storm Fani, we pronounce it Fani in English, and this particular is a very dangerous one in the southern Bay of Bengal region. In the morning session in the Hindu, I explained to you the whole issue of these cyclones, how they are moving in anti-clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere. Okay, so remember this particular detail, that's very important. Northern hemisphere anti-clockwise direction, southern hemisphere clockwise direction, and it is for the tropical cyclones. Okay, and you see because the Bay of Bengal as a water body, it is surrounded three sides from the land part, so the temperature rises more with this water body, and this is how the air temperature becomes more and air pressure comes down, and due to heavy evaporation, a lot of energy is released, and that energy actually intensifies the power of this cyclone. And in the center, there is eye of the cyclone. Okay, and there the air pressure is almost zero, and all the air which is around this eye of the cyclone, that will try to fill in this particular center. So it will start moving around the center, and this is in this particular direction or the shape, you can say. So this is anti-clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere it is clockwise direction. So this may create havoc, and I showed you the picture also in the morning's lesson that it can be a very severe cyclone. We need to see that, and we need to see whether on the Coromandel coast it is gonna hit Tamil Nadu coast, or the Andhra Pradesh coast, Visakhapatnam coast, and the Bengal one. So we need to see in which way it is gonna go. Machilipatnam is the important port on Andhra Pradesh coast, so that can be a danger, and the Chennai can be a danger. So severe cyclonic storm. So during next 6 hours, we may see what kind of developments would be there. So by the time I am recording this lesson, these 6 hours would be completed, and maybe some latest information we would have. And you see, National Crisis Management Committee (NCMC) is there, and Cabinet Secretary heads that committee, and they assess the situation and the need for these disaster response forces and all that is decided. So Chief Secretaries, Principal Secretaries of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal, all these eastern coastal state and their officials, they are communicating through video conferences, and they are deciding about the issue. And you see, Ministry of Home Affairs, it tackles the Disaster Management Authority and the Disaster Relief Forces. So that actually release the notification or the directives regarding their release of forces. So in the state, there are state disaster response forces. On the national level, there is National Disaster Relief Forces, and NDMA is the authority there. So under Ministry of Home Affairs. So that's important, and how they will decide about these issues. And the important point for them from the prelims point of view would be the NDMA and these disaster relief forces, NDRF and SDRF. Okay, so what kind of control is there, what kind of coordination is there, and which are the forces and how they are working. So that's important. Next, National Common Mobility Card. We just discussed NCMC there. It is Crisis Management Committee, and this is National Common Mobility Card. It was launched on 4th of March. It's a kind of a single card for multiple uses, and one nation, one card, interoperable transport card. It was conceived by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, because you see the people who are living in the metropolitan cities, they are using multiple transport ways, metros and buses and rails and all. So there must be a single card for the smooth transportation. Otherwise this becomes very hectic to get into the line every day and wasting time there. So this card is going to help a lot. So it was released by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Okay, Government of India Interoperable Transport Card, NCMC, National Common Mobility Card. And RuPay card mechanism is enabled here. State Bank of India, PNB, they will be the partner banks, and Make in India project. This is because it is indigenously made a product. And there was a NUTP, National Urban Transport Policy. It was conceptualized in 2006, and they proposed about this particular card. Now it is operable now, and NPCI is the implementation agency, National Payment Corporation of India. For the last 3 years, this body is very, very important, very much highlighted, and the Aadhaar enabled payment system and all these other digital payment system, the management, that is all coming under the NPCI of India. So read everything about NPCI, okay. And Bharat Electronics Limited, that has created the reader prototype of this card, okay. Next, technical textiles are having application in. You see, there are normal textile sector, and after agriculture, textile sector is the biggest employer, and the technical textiles, they are different. Actually, they have multiple applications in almost all the sectors, like in the river embankments, dams and all. There also these specific type of textiles are used. In bulletproof vests, these are used. Crop protection, the agri textile, which we call it, and geotextiles, all are specific types of technical textiles, because these are technical needs in these areas. So this has much potential, but not much growth till now is there. It is rising with 4% growth in the world scenario, but in India also we have much potential here. So we are targeting here, and this important seminar was organized by Ministry of Water Resources and Ganga Rejuvenation, and they organized this particular seminar to discuss the issues of technical textiles and the opportunities here. Okay, so all would be the answer, D would be the answer here. Geotextile, agri-textile, crop, for the crop protection, for the bulletproof vests, and in the river embankment processes, everywhere these textiles, in the medical field, in the automotive application, everywhere they are used. Okay, so there we are looking opportunities here. In the medical field, it's very, very specific. The hygiene factor is also very important. So the manufacturing of it, the industries regarding that will be very, very crucial. These are going on, many industries are already there, but we have much potential, so we should exploit that. Next, Ministry of Water Resource, they may ask you about the technical textile. Next, Ministry of Water Resource, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, that organized this particular seminar on use of technical textile in water resource works especially. Sampriti is the military exercise, joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. Sampriti is the name, Bangladesh, and you see it is happening alternatively every year. Last year it was there in India, this time it was in Tangail in Bangladesh. Okay, since 2011 it is happening annually, and it is the 8th edition of it. Okay, so this was between India and Bangladesh. Next, National Mineral Policy. You see, on 28th of February, these national policy on minerals, national policy on softwares, and all these were announced. And you see, these are very important from the prelims point of view, and they ask many provisions directly from these points. You see, in the Sunday's lesson, Sunday special session, when I discussed 3 most difficult questions of the prelims 2018 GS paper 1, then I told you that how they are asking questions from the important reports, PIB releases, and government official important recommendations. Any kind of committee is there, any kind of policy is, if it is released, then they will ask you these points directly from there. So this become much more important here to discuss. So that is why PIB lessons are extremely important, and these data are very much appropriate for the prelims. So the first statement is correct. Introduction of right of first refusal for RPPL holders, that is allowed here. But you see, this is wrong, second one, because it is all about the private sector encouragement. Everything they are suggesting here for the private sector, and heavily it is promoted here, financial help and the clearances, all kinds of allotment of smaller fields, bigger areas, everything would be going in the favor of private sector here. So anywhere you see private sector in the field of hydrocarbon policy and in the field of mineral policy, both private sector is boosted a lot. There is too much emphasis on private sector. So one is the correct answer, and the second is wrong. These are the important details you can see here. Encouraging the private sector to take up exploration and acquisition of mining entities, mergers would be there, so that encouragement of the private sector would be there. And 2019 policy proposes to grant status of industry to mining activity. This till now it is only mining activity. Now it will become mining industry, so that financing of mining for private sector, that would be possible. So it's a great boost for the private sector, because they can bring a lot of efficiency here. And in the same area of hydrocarbons, where the new policy was released in 2016, so there also they talked about private sector and the allocation of all these smaller fields where not much productivity is there with the PSUs of government. So they are handing these things over to private sector. So that's very, very important. And its long-term import-export policy mentions here, so that private sector can go through better planning and stability here. Also, it is all about the private sector. Aims to attract private investment through incentives, with efforts would be made to maintain a database of mineral resources and tenements under mining tenement system. So that is also allowed. And intergenerational equity, that is a new proposal here. It is introduced here, so that the sustainable development issue that is supported, because it is not about our generation, it will go for generations to come. So they all will be dependent on these policies and the way we are going to exploit earth here. So that would be crucial for the next generations. So the sustainable development issue is also being taken care here. And you see dedicated mineral corridors would be facilitated here. And it is actually replacing the National Mineral Policy of 2008. Supreme Court in 2017 August, it said that if they should review the existing policy, and a lot of important amendments and the reviews are needed here. So this is going to replace the 2008 policy. Next, fund allocated in National Software Policy, the next important policy announced on the same date. For 7 years, it is going to be a very important fund allocation here, that is for 1500 crore rupees directly. And you see, there is going to be two types. One is Software Production Development Fund, SPDF, and one is Research Innovation Fund. They both are for 1500 crore rupees, and it is going to be implemented for next 7 years. Okay, remember that. And 1000 crore is directly by the government. And you see, additionally some other funds are also there, but this is the main fund, 1500 crore rupees fund. You see, in 2016 they asked for NIIF corpus. So these are asking about the funds also these years. National Infrastructure Investment Fund, it was there, it was announced, and they asked about the corpus of it. So they may ask you about these important policies and their important funds, because funds are the basic things. So it was approved by a Union Cabinet chaired by Prime Minister in 2019 for the software products. You see, we have genius minds here, we have great potential here, but we are lacking in the production and the marketing things. Other countries are getting benefit of Indian genius minds. So we have potential, so we should create a very important environment here, so that 40% growth is achieved, that is expected here, and it should become $80 billion industry. Okay, $80 billion industry till 2025. So they have goal for 2025 mainly. Okay, and value addition, intellectual property, innovations, these are important things to develop ecosystem here. Okay, so you may put them into prelims and mains in both the stages. You can apply that, because questions can be there in the prelims and questions will be there in the mains stage, because these are very important issues. Implementation strategy and targets, there are 5 important missions under it, under the NPSP policy. So these are given here. 10,000 technology startups they are targeting in tier 2 and tier 3 towns, not even in tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 towns, where employment would be boosted. So this area can be developed there easily, because no raw material is needed here, only the technology startups would be there. So this is going to be very important. And skilling of more than 10 lakh IT professionals, generating 10,000 specialized professionals, and 1 lakh school and college students, they will be motivated here. So it's a huge phenomena, and it's for total software industry. You see, India has lakhs of engineers, but they are unemployed today. So this can be a great boost there. And Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, big data, robotics, these are the latest fields. They will be focused here. And 1000 crore rupees government contribution would be direct here, and additionally 5000 crore rupees fund would come from industry participation. So that is a additional one, but main fund is the 1500 crore rupees fund. Okay, NCERT, cumulative annual growth rate of 40%, they are going to achieve it by 2025. That is the goal here. Next, the Ministry of Science and Technology launched STARS. No, MHRD actually launched the STARS scheme on National Science Day. National Science Day is celebrated on 28th of February in the commemoration of C.V. Raman's important discovery, Raman effect. Okay, so on the same day, MHRD actually launched this STARS scheme. So it looks bizarre, because it is Science Day, so Science Ministry should be there, but it is by MHRD. So that is the biggest confusion in the common prelims questions. So do not confuse between ministries. IAS is going to be the coordinator of the scheme. This important institution would be coordinating it. So only 2 is the correct answer, 1 is wrong here, because MHRD initiative. 500 science projects would be funded here, and 250 crore rupees would be allocated for this scheme for translational and advanced research in science. So it is about the advanced research, okay, STARS scheme. So that is also going to boost the employment sector here. And Nobel laureate Sir C.V. Raman, who got Nobel Prize in 1930, in commemoration of discovery of Raman effect, we celebrate on 28th of February every year the National Science Day. And this year's theme was science for people and people for science. So they may ask you any of the data. Next, it is not Kerala, it is Tamil Nadu, which has become the first state in the country to introduce the TAVI technology. It is for the heart operations. When heart's valves, they are defective and they are not working, then most of the times the open heart surgery is needed. But in the older age people and the people who are having some other disease and all, so sometimes it is open heart surgery is not possible. So these people, they lose their lives. So this technology is revolutionary, and through a catheter system, they will introduce these things into their veins and all, and they will do the important procedure through this method. So that is the technology introduced first in India in Tamil Nadu. And normally this procedure costs 20 to 25 lakhs in private hospitals, but in the government sector it is done for free. So that is very, very important. Okay, so second statement is correct, first is wrong. Okay, thanks a lot. Keep watching PDF, you will get here, and tomorrow we will meet again. Today's lesson was late because of some scheduling issues, so the normal time would be there for the next lesson.